Let me ring the bell to that. Because for a moment I was almost crying. Like,
right.
UD, are you aware I already mentioned your name on air?
Well, yes, I had it, at the back of my mind, and yes, here we are.
Thank you so much for being a gentleman.
Oh, appreciate. The pleasure is mine. Well, it's always a pleasure to have, the conversation about Nigeria. I'm very, very passionate about it, and I'm sure I know that you are, by the way, and of course the listener is too, because the matters of this country, we have to put, a stop to all the munu and the nonsensical, attitude that's going on out there. And the only way that we know how to do it is to be very civil, very responsible, and show these lot who have sabotaged the very, wealth, the common wealth of this country for too long, and let them know that, look, it's time for a change. I'm glad that the president has come with a renewed hope agenda. Of course, we had it ever since he got into, power, and then we have the restoration budget for the renewed hope agenda and all of that, and we will just continue to hold our hands together as we see the light in the end, because the light has to come. It has to come. Enough of the oppression, enough of the voicelessness, enough of all the pain and the suffering. If we can but become a policy that changes every other policy, then we must have lived our lives not in vain, right? And this is welcoming us to the Yuletide season feeling, and knowing fully well that today, of course, is that day where we get into the Eagles Hangout. I mean, so yes, in the spirit of the Eagles Hangout, we will talk politics and we will talk current affairs, because that's what we know how to do best. My name is Udwak Daniel.
And I am Omo if a piece of seminary. I am particularly excited knowing that you is with me in the studios, and I must confess, you look dashing this morning. Like,
tell me about it.
You have every reason to attend the hangout today, so you can see us. We would like to see you, to give you hugs, right? Beyond the virtual hugs and oh hi, thank you. We'd like to tell you thank you one-on-one today, and we look forward to seeing you.
That's right. Looking forward to seeing you is something that we look forward to, and we should also bring it to you the fact that there's an influx of people leaving this country. I don't know if you are aware. I mean, with the Agbero kind of thingy that's going on in the society today, while some youths are looking at being very productive and seeing themselves as entrepreneurs, we're seeing others taking, what I call it a bold step now, to hold their fate in their hands by embarking on that journey outside the shores of Nigeria in the Japa syndrome. I mean, we've been talking about this all over time and everything, and yet we still have some who have dedicated their lives to the touting, within the system. A little wonder, sometimes, some time ago, we heard the former President Buhari say that there's just a bunch of lazy youths, out there.
No, don't say that again.
I wouldn't want, but it's really disheartening, to see how our youths are whiling away and wasting away, touting all around and becoming a nuisance. One has to put it out there. Some of our youths, and not everybody though, not everybody, but some of them, and it is a feeling that should get to the heart of your heart, that is, because it should also get to the heart of those who are in the place of authority for youth and national youth and youth ministry of development. All of these agencies that have been put together in ministries and departments and all of that to do the needful. If they think that they've done enough and we still have the touting on the increase, then they probably may be failing in that regard. And if they still say that they have a lot going on and we are not aware of it, I mean, why do we have the platform? That's why we have this platform. Come on here and let us have that conversation and talk about the youth today. And this is not to say that women and children are not important, but look, the youth. They are the leader of tomorrow. They are the leaders of today. It starts today. It starts now, right? It starts now. But then let's do something about it. I'm glad that the FCT minister and Nyesom Wike has also, made statements about, the touting, going on and everything. He has talked about those who are making their place of abode under the bridges and all of that, the shanties and all of that. Yeah, but I think he should begin to look at youth development. It is very, very important if we must indeed push this country to the next level where there's a renewed hope, waiting for us. But then let's look at the Japa syndrome. I mean, we cannot stop talking about it on Moefe.
That's right.
Right? Millions and thousands of Nigerians, youths, are leaving this country, and they are not sorry about it.
A while ago you talked about the renewed hope, the renewed hope
restoration
agenda, the restoration budget, and all of that. So it beats my imagination that, in spite of the effort, right? The effort that have been put in place by this administration, again with the tag renewed hope agenda or administration, we still have people who are hell bent on jackbuying out of the country. For them, the land is actually greener on the other side. But it's really very disturbing that we have Nigerians, right, who probably were working right here, but maybe because of the free fall of the naira, the fluctuations, here and there, they feel like there's little or no value attached, to our dear currency, the naira. I mean, some people actually base their excuse on that and tell you that, no, I have to go somewhere else where the currency actually has value and what have you. So some of these people, they resign their jobs, all that they've acquired over the years, all that they've labored for, they sell everything just to jackpot, to start all over again. And we've seen videos, we've seen pictures of Nigerians, right? I wouldn't want to say Nigerians in diaspora now because they didn't really settle in properly. They were stranded in recent past, and even
Libya, we've seen all of that. Libya, even Togo, South
Especially
Africa.
at this time of the year, I recall, was it 2021 or 2022? Yeah. The video was in circulation, and it was really disturbing because it was this time of the year actually when that video actually made its way to social media. You see these people lying outside in the cold,
just to jackpot,
because they have no roof over their head.
Right.
And then it was advised that before you jackpot out of Nigeria because you think it is better off, out there, please make proper consultation so you won't be stranded. So the phenomenon of Nigerians relocating to other countries, popularly known as Japa, has been on the rise in recent years.
That's right.
This trend is driven by various sectors, including economic hardship, insecurity, and lack of opportunities.
Right, and you've said it already, but Nigeria has also been facing, a significant economic challenge. We're including a decline in oil prices, and that has led to, a recession, as well as a significant increase, in the poverty lines and levels. And the country has also been plagued by insecurity, particularly, though, you might want to take this one as a case in point, the northeastern region, right, where the Boko Haram has been wreaking havoc. Furthermore, though, Nigeria has also been struggling with corruption. I mean, I don't know where we will ever talk about Nigeria's woes and problems and challenges that we don't mention corruption or more.
But come on, don't make it look like
it's just peculiar to us, right? Okay, well, anyways, it's not. But poor governance is also part of it. Infrastructural decay is another aspect that we must also, look at some of the things wreaking havoc in the country. And this has made, it quite difficult for citizens to access basic, services such as healthcare, such as education, and electricity, right? And there's one question that's so pertinent. What then would be the historical antecedents, of the Japa phenomenon in Nigeria? Because they always say that, I think the Yoruba say, Kokoro tinjefo, idiefo lowa. That means...
You are surprising me so much this morning.
I need to let you in, because it's a disturbing, situation.
But please translate what you just said in English.
It actually means that the bug, or the pest that is eating, a plant, right, is found underneath, in the roots, underneath the roots, right? In other words, what plagues us is not far from us. It's just with us, it's within us. And we have to, uproot it from the very source.
That's right.
So if we don't go back historically to handling these things, how do we even forge ahead?
Well, you just intimidated me with the Yoruba slang, thing right now.
Lord,
don't let me come for you with the Hausa language because I can also do that.
Right.
But, dear listener, the reason why we're having this conversation, right? Yesterday, we saw a report by the National Bureau of Statistics.
That's right.
That's the NBS, revealing that about 1 in 4 Nigerians, equivalent to 56% of the population, want to relocate from the country. And the report shows that more men, which accounts for 31.2%, than women at 19.3% between the ages of 15 and above want to leave their communities permanently or temporarily. Now, the age group with the highest desire to migrate is those between 20 and 30 years old, with 34.5% expressing their intention to leave. What exactly are the implications of this Japa phenomenon on Nigeria's economy and society?
Well, so it doesn't seem as though, it doesn't seem as though we are, speaking, from another realm. Let's bring it to a personal story. Now, imagine a young Nigerian professional who wishes to remain anonymous now, sharing her experience with the Japa phenomenon. Now, this is what she had to say. She says, I have been struggling to find a job in Nigeria for over a year now. Right? And despite having a good degree and relevant skills, I have been unable to secure employment. Right? Now, she goes ahead to saying that she decided to relocate to Canada, where she has been offered a job. Now, she says that she is excited about the opportunity, but she's also sad about leaving her family and friends behind. Now, it just goes on to saying that should the situation or circumstances have been a different, scenario on here, should it have been a livable experience on here, most of these guys, or some of them, do not intend or really wish to leave the shores of this country, because there's a lot to miss about your home country. There's a lot to miss. I mean, if you go out there and all of that, you see the even though the system is very well organized, but there are also some shortcomings that might come, because you might be running different shifts at some point. That's all of that. But then, even though the money comes, but do you really have time to rest yourself?
I really don't know how to
spend time with friends and family? I mean, I don't know, but you'll miss that about your home country. So,
but they say it's all because of the currency, with a higher value, as it were. But again, I don't know how true it is.
Right.
I hear that some of these people, professionals, right here in Nigeria, but when they leave the shores of Nigeria for Canada, UK, or what have you, some of them even end up working as watchmen, like they watch.
Right.
Their
degree is not even really very essential.
They work at a cemetery, jobs like that. Some of them are even nannies, as it were.
Right. And odd jobs.
Yeah,
that's what they do. Right. So even with your qualification, I can tell you a story. So many stories, so many instances. To go into. A friend in the UK had told me that, look, hey, right here is all about the whole the medicals. If you go, we've overflogged the medical field in the UK right there. And another who is what country is this now? Forgotten. Told me reliably that, look, one of her friends, they graduated together in Nigeria. She's a lawyer, and she had gone to the UK, and all effort to connect with her has proved abortive.
Okay.
Because she doesn't want her to travel from her country to come to the UK to see her.
Why not?
Why not? Good question. The reason is she's been called to bar in Nigeria. She's a bona fide, lawyer, but right there in the UK, she's driving a cab. Okay, so let's leave it there as we try to connect with our guest, who is in the person of Dr. Austin Maho. He is a lecturer and public affairs commentator, publisher, Daybreak Nigerian newspaper. He's going to be joining us in a short bit as we go conversational, on this very topical issue. A very good morning to you, and compliments of the season to you, Dr. Austin Maho.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes.
Good morning. Nice to be here.
Good morning to you.
Compliments of the season.
Compliments of the season. Right. I'm not alone in the studio, as Omoife is also here.
Good morning to you, Dr. Austin Maho.
Yeah, good morning.
Right.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Right.
Yes.
Doctor, I believe that we have had this conversation about the Japa syndrome. And yet again, the National Bureau of Statistics, the NBS, has come with another statistics. I mean, the growing desire of Nigerians to relocate is on the high side. I mean, 1 in 4 Nigerian, equivalent to about 56% of the population wants to relocate from the country. And that the report, is also showing that more men, 31.2% of them, than women, who are 19.3%, between the ages of 15 and above, they want to leave their communities permanently or temporarily. And then, I don't know. What do you think the implications may be for, Nigeria and the economy and the society as well?
The situation is there.
Right.
It's a reflection of, the state of our economy as a nation. Because within the last 2 to 3 years, Nigeria has witnessed one of the greatest immigration in this country from Nigeria outside the shores of this country. And most of them are able-bodied Nigerian youths who ordinarily respect should form the large chunk of contributing to the future of this country. Nigeria likes to see itself as a country of young people because the population of the country is actually shows that about 65% of the Nigerian population are those between the ages of 18 and 35. And statistically, that is the most productive age in anybody's life. So when you now have a situation whereby your youthful population, the productive segment of your population that are supposed to contribute to national development are the ones who are angling to japa out of the country, it is a big problem. Right. It means our economy is not going to grow. We are going to face a lot of social upheaval in times to come. And when you do a further study of those going out of the country, why I say we are going to face in future, we're going to, because the consequences, like I said, is there. Looking into the future, you can begin to imagine what will happen when you do a study of those going out. It constitutes not just the productive demography of your population, but equally the professionals, those the doctors, the nurses, the lawyers, the teachers, the technologists, the ICT experts. Those are the ones leaving the shores of this country. So you begin to ask yourself, if the segment of the population that are supposed to serve as a catalyst for growth, who are supposed to bridge the gap between the past and the present, and equally the upwardly mobile population, the educated population that are supposed to propel, our developmental trajectory into the future, they are the ones leaving. The situation is very bad. And at the end of the day, you ask yourself, why are they leaving? Why are they all leaving the shores of this country in their hundreds, in their thousands? It all comes down to government policy. And, in the last 5 years, we've had the worst economic downturn of the Nigerian economy in recent history. It started with the Buhari administration. It got to a head with the current administration, especially in the last 16 months, whereby you have subsidy removal, you have the devaluation of the naira, which kind of sound a death knell, to the Nigerian economy, where the exchange rate, which people were already crying was in the region of 400 to 500, all of a sudden shot to 200, 2,000 naira as exchange rate to the dollar. So naturally, that created the window for people to now see the dollar or the pound sterling as a valuable currency to use to build their economic life. So when you walk outside this country, you earn in dollar or in pounds. It becomes more attractive because of the exchange rate. So that has been one of the economic fallout of government policy of floating the naira. And when you now add it again to the second policy of removal of subsidy, it eventually made nonsense of our economy because the economy became unproductive. The economy became uncompetitive. Investors were leaving the shores of this country in droves in such a way that many people were gainfully employed as a result of, the loss of industrial capacity as a result of this twin policy. Many people became jobless. So the long and short of it, for those who felt that, look, they can no longer tie their future to a country that seems to have no future, was to leave the shores of this country to go and, pursue their life's dream rather than, remaining back here. So that's the situation we find ourselves. And for those leaving, you ask the question of, do they have a reason to leave? Of course, they have a reason to leave. Do our economic managers, our political scientists, our policymakers, are they taking this problem seriously? And what are they doing, apart from reading out statistics, like the one you made reference to say these are the problems? What are the solutions they are putting on ground to address this problem? None. Okay. None. The only solution one would have hoped that the government would have come up with as a way of addressing this Japa syndrome is to put its thinking cap on, think outside the box, and come up with programs and projects that can improve on the state of our economy. But as long as our economy remains the way it is, the attraction for people to want to go out of the country will remain there. Okay. That is what it is the reality and is the truth.
All right. Dr. Austin Maho, you've really spoken extensively on this, but not enough for us to reach a point of departure, right? Talking about initiatives that the present-day administration can, come up with just to discourage Nigerians, especially the youth, from leaving the country. We understand that this administration, under the President Bola Tinubu, has actually shown some level of commitment to empowering Nigerian youth through various initiatives, right? We'll talk about the Presidential Initiative for Youth Enterprise Clusters. You talk about the Youth Investment Fund, the National Youth Development Bank, which is actually in the pipeline as we speak, right? And even the Student Loan Scheme, right? But in the face of all of this, it appears some Nigerians, especially the youth, no pun intended, are still hell-bent on leaving Nigeria. Now, let's talk about, our attitude as a people. Right. There are other countries in Africa who are not doing better off than we are doing right here in Nigeria. But you might be privy to the latest data or what is obtainable across these, countries. Is that really the attitude of the citizens right there? They're also desperate to leave their countries because things are not, going well?
In terms of, I've listened to you carefully.
Right.
And like I said, I stand with my position. For those who have the opportunity to leave the shores of this country to go and seek a greener pasture, those who have the opportunity and they have the means, definitely you cannot stop them. You have a country that has not offered them any hope. All those things you mentioned, attempt by the government to address the economic problem of the country, to me is just a trickle. Those two policies of devaluation and floating of the naira are actually working against whatever policy government put in place to address the hardship and hunger in the land. Let let's even make a recent. Let's look at what happened in Ibadan about 2 days ago,
right?
Where about 35 children died because they were queuing to receive 5,000, which 5,000 naira, which is equivalent to about $3. What does that tell you? Somebody, put up an announcement that kids in my vicinity come around and come and take 5,000 each, and before you know, the entire street, the entire environment were flooded with hungry Nigerian children. That alone should tell you that there's something fundamentally wrong with government policies. All these policies you spoke about, which are designed to address this problem, they are nothing but just a drop in an ocean of poverty. It doesn't go far enough. And even then, we can even extend it by looking at the recent budget estimate.
Right.
The recent budget estimate of the federal government. What is the budget? The government is projecting to spend a budget of about 47.9 million.
Yeah.
Do you know what that money amounts to? In dollar terms, using the current exchange rate, that money is just about 28 billion US dollars. So it may look humongous, 47 trillion, but in actual fact, if you convert it to dollar, it's just about 28 billion for a population of 210 million people. You can equally relate that, compare it to South Africa's 2023 budget for its population of approximately about 60 million people. South Africa is projecting about 130 in dollars, 130 billion US dollars as its budget projection for 2023. In fact, some analysts who have done a comparative analysis of the current budget proposal presented by Mr. President to the National Assembly, to say in dollar terms, when you convert it to dollar, is about, forget the humongous amount you are hearing, it's about the lowest budget ever presented in recent time to the National Assembly, I believe. Some have even gone as far as saying it's the lowest budget ever presented in this democratic era. And for a quick understanding of what we are talking about, let's even look at the 2024 budget. 2024 budget was about 27 trillion. As at that time, if you do the exchange rate, it was about 36 billion. Compared to, if you do the exchange rate, we are looking at exchange rate variation. Today's budget is 28. 2023 budget, the same thing. 2023 budget of about 21 trillion. When you convert it to dollar, it's about 48 billion. So in the last 3 years, you find out that our budget, because of this exchange rate differential, has actually been declining. And if it is declining, you see a reflection in the level of poverty in the land. Statistics don't lie. What we experience on the streets as Nigerians is a reflection of the state of the economy, irrespective of whatever the federal government is doing, whatever policy they are putting in place. They are just merely face-saving measures, which is not going far enough to address the core of the problem. Okay. Not until we are able to remove this volatility in the exchange regime in such a way that the naira is stable to the dollar at a rate that helps the economy to be productive, this problem will remain.
Right.
It will remain.
Okay.
And that is the situation we find ourselves.
All right, let's just also go on a recess right now. We'll be right back as we go conversational on this, as we've got some bills to pay, Dr. Austin. And yes, to you listening right there, we will be right back in a short bit. Remember, this is the Political and Current Affairs Prog Show right here on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Don't go away.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Please listen to this infomercial. Hello Nigeria. Hello Africa. Do you want to work in the healthcare sector? Do you want to be a trained, certified nursing assistant, medical assistant, or caregiver? If yes, then register to enroll for Push Africa's one-year diploma in certified nursing assistant training happening at the African University College of Science and Technology, Abuja. Targeted trainees are unemployed graduates, O-level or ordinary diploma graduates, or anyone interested in working as a support worker in the healthcare sector. For details, log on to www.pushafrica.org or WhatsApp 080-339-42015. 080-339-42015. 080-339-42015. For registration, pick up application form at our partner radio stations or visit the reception at the African University of Science and Technology, Abuja.
Eagles 102.3 FM, Abuja. Here to stay.
Ilimi babban abu ne gunmu shi zai kankan ya mutuncinmu.
A kowane ƙarni a kowace irin al'umma da ilimi ake tinka. Yanzu fa tazara tana ƙoƙarin ta kai tazara.
Musamman mu 'ya'ya mata da a wannan zamani ya kamata a cusa mu makaranta. Sai aka bar mu da yawon gararan ba da tallace-tallace.
Ashe kaga ya zama haƙƙi ga iyaye da kowa mai hanin jinka.
Mu tabbatar da ana cusa yara makaranta.
Su samu natijar ilimi su daidaita da zamaninsu.
Kuma zamanin su ya tunƙaho da su. Amma rashin sa yaran a makarantar ya jawo an mana tazara a kowace harka ta rayuwa.
A Najeriya kimanin yara sama da miliyan 20 ba sa makaranta.
Har ma masu ƙididdiga suka ce miliyan 8 a kudu, miliyan 12 a arewa. Shi yasa hukumar ilimin bai ɗaya ta ƙasa wato UBEC ta ce
mai kafaɗa da kafaɗar tunani wajen cusa yara makaranta.
Domin gadon ilimi ya fi gadon dukiya.
Wannan sako ne daga hukumar ilimin bai ɗaya ta ƙasa wato UBEC.
Himma da ƙwazo ƙoƙarin mushinku jama'a kiranmu nake bisa dagewa.
Eagles 102.3 FM, Abuja. Here to stay.
I don't need no liquor. I'm intoxicated by you.
My country people, who work is supposed to enjoy you after all the hustle. You not supposed to take your comfort play to fit sleep the way it's supposed to be. Make you go grab a your Eurofoam mattress. Make you forget your full comfort. Whether na Euro Spring, Euro Orthopedic, or semi-orthopedic, Diamond and Diamond Plus. And for Comfort Pro Max, Eurofoam don't introduce latest in town. That na Euro Elite. This one, they sleep jolly meant no get equal. Eurofoam get quality pillows and sheetings. Eurofoam shop yakpa everywhere for Bodo Nigeria. Eurofoam, sleep the way it's
102.3 Abuja.
And yes, we're back. This is the Prog Show, Eagles Outlook, where we talk politics and current affairs. Still having our guest in the studio via phone call, Dr. Austin Maho. He's a lecturer and public affairs commentator, a publisher, Daybreak Nigeria newspaper. As we go conversational on the topical issue, the Japa syndrome, or the Japa growing desire of Nigerians to relocate. And this is coming on the hinges or against the backdrop of, a new report by the NBS, the National Bureau of Statistics. You want to join your voice, add your voice in a more civil and responsible way in this discourse this morning. The number is out there for you, 0907-353-0044. In case you missed out on the number, Omoife is going to reiterate the number again.
Right, that is 0907-353-0044. You can also send a message, just a message, because we won't be able to take voice notes. Right. Just a message to the WhatsApp portal on 0909-705-4450.
Taking this call now.
Hello and good morning.
Good morning, lady.
Good morning to you. Thank you so much. This is Moses.
You are avoiding the early morning call and you are allowed to take the this morning.
Oh, Moses, no.
That's right.
Right, Moses. Talk to us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The issue is, what are the factors behind the Japa behind syndrome? What are the factors? That is one thing that we should look into. I remember those years which we are young, we are coming up. Nigeria has a good economic background, where we even have foreigners coming to this country, especially Ghanaians, where our economy was strong, good governance, living conditions, health, good education. I remember those years when I was in the school. There are federal government books allocated to us. Why can't, in a good conducive environment and good governance, why can't I say, where will I go? When there are good security, good health, good education, where will I go? But it comes to a point where all those things collapse. The present government, we're having some of them are self-centeredness, that corruption has entered into the system, that things that will make those youth to work and showcase their potential is the model. My point behind this Japa program is that the ideas and the potential value that would be of a best of this country is being transferred to other countries to add to the economic provider.
Right.
That is it. So the issue is, how are we going to tackle this condition of corruption and bad governance? That is the challenge of the ground.
Okay.
So the insecurity, bad governance, people want to go to a place where it's safe. People want to go to a place where they can showcase their talent. That is it. So the issue on this ground until the system is being put in order with good governance.
All right.
Nobody plays to go to the country to go to another country.
Okay.
That is it. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Moses. Right there. Keep the calls coming through. 0907 353 0044. Right. Okay. Let's just go take this one. Then we'll get back with our guest.
Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Yes,
good morning to you.
What's your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, this is Elder Boniface calling from Kubwa.
Elder Boniface, welcome aboard, Elder. Talk to us.
Thank you very much. Yes, you see, during my own time, we read about slavery, ancient slavery. This is now modern slavery. Before, the government came to Nigeria to buy our people and transport them down to their place to work for them. But now, our people are going down there, paying huge sum of money to take themselves there to work. Because of Nigerian system is not working. Nothing is, I'm a victim because my son finished school since 14 years ago, no work. He read mass communication. No work, he look for work for more than 10 years, no work. I have to struggle for him to go outside. Now I have gotten something to do, even if he's doing security and he's being paid. Is it not better than you are a graduate in your country and you don't have work and you are hungry, is killing you? Your parents train you, finish, you cannot even afford food for yourself. Your parents are still feeding you. Is it not a shame to this government? Is it not a shame? So somebody said that her colleague was outside and he's driving a car. He's avoiding her. Why should the person avoid? When he's getting or she's getting her health week, they tell you what is the level of education if you finish school here and there is no job for you. It is very, very irrelevant.
But just to butt you, the thing is, the reason why we had to bring some of these scenarios, into the conversation is the fact that some Nigerians here, right, at home, would consider such jobs as, indecent jobs. But outside the country, they are willing to do anything just for the money.
How they are willing to do anything because they will pay them. They will work finish and they will pay them for what they work for. Therefore, here in Nigeria, you will read finish. You now you need mass communication. You get work. Assuming you look for work, you know get. You go outside Nigeria and you are offered to be a gardener, and you are paid some amount. Would you accept it? You will, because you are being paid for you are being paid. Nigeria here, they will not pay you anything like that.
Okay.
They will pay you. That is why they are doing that job there. They are happy doing it. No security here, no work, nothing is working for this. In fact, I'm ashamed of Nigerian government.
All right, let's leave it here.
Thank you, Elder Boniface. We understand your frustrations and your pain and your disappointments. I mean, we all feel the same about these things. I mean, when we look at the reality, we cannot act as though we are not a part of the system, or we are not seeing what's going on, because we feel the pain too as well. But then again, we must also try to keep, hope alive and see what can we also do to contribute, because that's another angle to it.
I have a question for Dr. Austin Mao, but let's take this call. Let's take this call first. Hello, good morning.
Hello, my name is Dan. How are you?
Very well, BB. Welcome aboard.
Happy to I greet you.
Good morning, BB. Blessing.
Oh, bless you, man.
Yeah.
My dear.
Thank you, BB.
I want to ask my mistake.
Where are you calling from, BB?
My name is BB.
Right.
Calling from a circle.
All right, that's right. Thank you.
Okay, BB, you want to give me a bag of rice or chicken before you know where I'm living?
Go ahead, BB.
I greet our caller.
Right.
What I want to say, but I know too early, but you are listening for the last caller.
Yes.
Why is BB say peace make they work well in our country? Really? Do you know that Nigeria they work so? If another side country you dey work at, you for don't build house, you for don't use that money where they are paying you, do better thing in your life.
Right.
But the answer say no, they are giving you a pino change, chicken change. What can you do? When you see say our educated people, they value them wherever they go, they are doing well. But when we say we be Nigeria, we be giant for Nigeria, we don't even value ourselves. Even though what we do, we don't even value it, but we value other people more than us. That's why you go see say people, they tax people. If you see how much they give them, if they change that for Nigeria, the money they fit use that house, build the house, train children for school. But Nigeria, yes, they have to steal. They don't want you to come up. That's why it's that they call. They don't want you to travel, because they see what they do for them. They see their style. They see they are hard working. Our youth, they are hard working. Now our government now, our president now really the hit. They not hit up a bad way. We make our Nigeria better for the youth. They say the youth is the leader of tomorrow. Where is the youth place now? Where is the youth for Nigeria now? We have adult, we have teacher, we have education, we have crime. See, our pity for Nigeria. Our pity for Nigeria. We call the dead before we eat. Now our president job is say what to do investment for Nigeria. When we do our own for years before our president don't come, we do. And Nigeria is blessed. Everything there for Nigeria. Mineral resources is there for our Nigeria. Why are we using our house to show our youth away? Right. Make them do better things so that you know our youth to gain what they want to get for our Nigeria. Make them not just get there, steal our money, go to invest for another country. Look at buy house, buy car. Where are they carry the car go? If they die tomorrow, can the car follow there? Why God be safe? If you die tomorrow, can the God be save you?
Yeah.
God will ask you, my people that are harder for you, how you take care of them. God bless you. God bless you.
Thank you so much for calling.
Quite, from the heart, straight from the heart. That's coming from BB Blessing, and it goes back to the place of where the Vice President Kashim Shettima, in one of those occasions, had said that migration is not a bad idea. It's not a bad thing, right? He made mention of that, and when you think about that, you might also want to consider some of those comments that one of our own who had left here at a tender age, I think in a teenage age and all of that, Kemi Badenoch, the UK conservative right there, some of the statements that she had made, some of the comparisons and juxtapositions that she had, put out there, side by side with the Nigeria police, the Nigeria situation reality as against the UK reality and all of that. It brings certain, dampening feelings, to some of us or most of us who are, in Nigeria. And it makes me begs the question of where are we really getting it wrongly? Is it about the youths not doing their best, or is it over reliance on the government and all of that? Well, I'll pass it to you, Moife.
Absolutely, I agree. BB Blessing and the host of other callers, they've spoken very well this morning on the show, and even passionately, right, about the issues on ground, because it's really very disturbing as a parent. You send your child to school, how many years, and you paid quite a lot, for them to acquire education. At the end of the day, they're not able to secure a job. It's really very disturbing. I mean, I saw a post recently where a journalist like us wrote on his WhatsApp status saying that Nigerian youth or people are basically working now just to feed, to transport themselves to work, to be able to buy data, but not necessarily to save. And it is really very disturbing. However, my question now would go to Dr. Austin Mao. Instead of us, to put the bulk of the blame, on the federal government for not having good initiatives on ground to keep the youth, afloat, don't you think parents, because they say charity begins at home.
Exactly.
But it shouldn't end there. But don't you think parents should also share in the blame? In the US, for example, I've never been there, but I've heard stories as to how things are done there. You see someone at the age of 18 or 20 in high school or university, as it were here, right? They are in school, but they also create time to acquire some sort of skill or skills, so that at the end of the day, they don't depend solely on the white collar jobs. So they are somewhat independent. But there seems to be an absence of that, because you heard a caller who lamented about his son. He graduated over 14 years ago, and yet to get a job. It's really very disturbing. Why can't we incorporate skills acquisition side by side, basic or secondary education, here in Nigeria?
Your question answers itself. It answers itself because you are trying to make it seem as if it's the duty of the parents to, to build an economy, build the social structure, and
not necessarily to build an economy, but they have a role to play, right? It's a collective responsibility, isn't it?
My duty, I have children. My duty as a parent is to send my children to school, is to take care of them at the home front, send them to school, hand them over to the authorities who have designed the curriculum for them to go through. And if they see, if the authorities itself see that, look, the curriculum is deficient, it is not in any way, in tune with the need of the nation, of the industry, of those seeking to employ people in the economy. It now beholds on the government itself to redesign its educational system, curriculum, in order to address this problem. And where they fail to do that, it is not the duty of the parents to go and set up a skill acquisition center and now send the child to go there. That is why we call these our leaders elected representatives. They are there to understand what the people need, what the society needs, how to grow the economy, grow the society. And bringing up a child, education is a major part of it. And education plays a key role. And if education is failing, you don't blame the parents. You blame the system. You blame the operators of the system. They need to, in these circumstances, from what you have said, in these circumstances, they need to look at it. We have a 6-3-3-4 system of education. Is it adequate? Is it working? Is it delivering as expected? Because if you look at the current educational system, it is actually designed in such a way that students are able to acquire skills if they go through the system. But you know that it is not working. So you cannot now turn around to blame the parent for the failure of government and its policy.
All right,
it is what it is.
Yeah, let's get on to a WhatsApp portal message right now. This one right here says,
all right, this is Abbas reporting from Dutse. It says, good morning, Sayudi and Omoefe.
Madam Omoefe, actually. Right, go ahead.
Japa syndrome is not a recent
phenomenon.
All right, in Nigeria. It all started back then in the early 1980s when Nigeria's economy was even better. From my observation, Japa is not all about economic reasons rather, but because an average Nigerian can easily afford the means to go out. That's why they are moving out. Even in developed economies, their citizens still go out to seek further economic benefits, if I may ask. Well, does that... Okay, why are those citizens in underdeveloped countries not going out while you see some Nigerians still moving towards economic countries? I think we should stop crying over a spilled milk. No economic policies can prevent Nigerian youth from going out. It has become a trend, so let Nigeria government build on this aspect because our population is growing and there are few available economic resources being competing
amongst the populace.
All right, amongst the populace. Furthermore, we have to let those who can go out go and contribute their quota to Nigeria's system. Abbas reporting from Duse, but we've seen the case of Kemi Badenoch, right?
Yes,
I mean,
of course.
It has actually left us with you know, I wouldn't want to say regrets
with
thoughts.
With thoughts.
I think thoughts will be fine.
Yeah, Sanusi from Suleja, as you're thinking of what Nigeria can do for you, you should also think of what you can do for Nigeria. All of us cannot secure work with government. Instead, we should look at other ways of making ourselves a better person by getting something doing instead of waiting for governments to give us a job. We can also be self-reliant, and that's what Sanusi is saying right there. But, well, this is where we would call it a close, but we want to say a big thank you to you, Dr. Austin Maho. You have indeed been very resourceful. Thank you, far too kind, and we're looking forward to more conversations with you in the coming days and compliments of the season, you know, in advance. All right, that's Dr. Austin Maho right there. That's
right.
How we say bye-bye.
No, before we say bye-bye, Rudy, I must ask you, do you plan on jack buying?
Well, I don't plan on jack buying me, but if jack buying comes to me, well, you know the answer.
I wouldn't be happy with you if you do that.
Well, I wouldn't be happy with myself either, but I love my country, though. Don't mind me. All right, that's where we leave it today. Are you planning on jack buying too?
No. See, I am proud. I am proud to be called, you know, a citizen of Nigeria, right?
Okay.
The odds might not really be in our favor completely, but...
Yeah.
You know, we must keep hope alive and believe that we can actually make things work.
That's right.
Do not wait on the government to provide jobs for you. Create one for yourself. I think that's the era we find ourselves right now.
Finally, right? And this must not also be left on the shoulders of a government. If as a parent you also find ways to add value to your child, please do so.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. So have a great day, and we look forward to seeing you much later today.
That's right.